Ruby Allen and I was nominated as a Young Achiever in Community Service for the Tweed Shire Australia Day Awards. So growing up, my family experienced domestic violence, and as a child I found it really hard to kind of understand what was going on. And then when I did seek help, a lot of the existing services were adult-centric and used complex language that as a child made it really difficult for me to understand. And then when I got into high school, I started talking to my peers and realised that this was something that they had experienced too. And so collectively with a few friends we kind of realised that this was a big problem and that we wanted to do something about it. And from there I've kind of taken it on after high school now and really trying to grow it to help Australian children affected by domestic violence. So the mission of Kids of Purple is ultimately to validate the experiences of children in their own right, acknowledging that their experiences living in a home with domestic and family violence is completely different to the experiences of an adult. And I think it's really important to have resources for children in their own language, because a lot of the time there are so many barriers already existing for children. There's geographical isolation, there's financial dependency on parents, there's normalisation of issues in households that if children don't have that support from parents, they largely are left without support. So having an online space for children that really speaks to them in their own language and understands their needs ultimately helps decrease the stigma that young people face. I think it's always super exciting to know that someone else has thought of you and values your work. So I was certainly very excited to hear that I was nominated for this award, and I think it just goes to show that children affected by domestic and family violence are being recognised and they are being seen and heard, and there's so much more change that can happen. And I think being recognised for kind of trying to achieve that change gives me a bit of a boost to keep going when I doubt myself sometimes. So it's very exciting.